Hey y'all, Jethro here. So we're going to have a little bit of fried fish tonight. Kind of a treat. I don't fry too many things too often, but fish is one of those things I just don't mind frying. And I like it baked as well, but we just haven't had nothing fried for a while, so we're going to do this. But what I'm doing going over today is some Hush Puppies. And pretty much what I have is 2 cups of flour, about a half, or 2 cups of cornmeal, about a half cup of flour. I do have a teaspoon of baking powders. Another thing, you know, those little handy dandy blenders and stuff. Now, I use about a half spoon to 3/4 teaspoon of salt, but I like taking my salt and putting it in that blender and basically turning it into a powder. It mixes in the batter so much better. I mean, it distributes it real well. You don't get a real salty piece and a not salty piece. So that's just a little tip. And if you're a popcorn eater, try putting your salt in one of these and just take it by the fingers and pinch it and just sprinkle it over your popcorn. It distributes a lot better, and it actually sticks to the popcorn when it's nice and hot. So the other things we're going to use, I'll probably use about half of a can of corn, chopped up green onions, and I've got some jalapeno I'm fixing to dice up, which I'll probably just use 1 jalapeno without the seeds, no stem. And then I'm going to use probably about a half cup of some sharp cheddar cheese. So I'm going to go ahead and put this together, and then we'll show you how she turns out after we cook it. Alright guys, so you know the end of the mix is 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, and a tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of, I use melted bacon drippings. You can use shortening, you can use other lard or whatever, but that's just where I like it. I do save bacon grease, and I use it sometimes in cooking just for a little bit extra flavor. So what we're going to do here, one of the best ways I've found is to take a cookie scoop or an ice cream scoop, and I hope it's hot enough. It's been on there for a while. You betcha she is. Drop them babies in there by a cookie scoop. Works about right. Makes them about the right size, and we'll get to cooking these and we'll show you the end thing. Let's see. To give you the lowdown on it, it was 2 cups of cornmeal, half cup of flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt, about a cup of corn, about a cup of green onions, 1/4 cup of jalapenos, and about a 3/4 of a cup of cheese grated. So that's where we at. And plus your wet ingredients, your 2 eggs, 1 cup of milk, and tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of bacon fat. So we'll be back later. Alright guys, so like I said, the spoon scoop, or the cookie dough scoop, that's just an awesome way. By the time they puff up, you got some excellent size Hush Puppies. Now, something I screwed up on, and my kids advised me of it after the first batch, and they got to try one, is I did not put no garlic powder or fresh garlic in it, which in that whole batch, you ought to use about 2 teaspoons of fresh garlic to a tablespoon, or about a teaspoon of garlic powder. And some people like sweet Hush Puppies. You can add sugar to this. You adjust it to your flavor, because I don't like them that way. But when we first done it and started doing Hush Puppies, we had a recipe that had sugar in it, and it wasn't the world's worst, but I just like the corn taste better, so we omit the sugars. So we're still moving on with it. Basically, this is going to be the last shot, because this is what it's like. And hope y'all try it. Maybe you'll like it. Holy boys, I got to do one more addition to make to this. Grease temperature is important. With the baking powder and everything else you got in there, if your grease is too hot when you introduce your batter, your Hush Puppies are just going to blow apart. You know, it's not great. I cook mine around 300, 325 degrees, and that's the same temperature I cook my fish at. Now I get my grease up to 325. I dump a bunch of cold fish in there. It drops my temperatures down to around 290, and you know, it slowly starts coming back up. It keeps my fish from getting too dark. It makes them nice and done and crispy. But anyhow, that's just a small addition to the plans on this. I'm trying to be as close to what I do it as possible. So hopefully everybody has a great experience. So Jethro out.